the internet really just like makes me cackle because like how many people are going to comment that this tea is old, that the tea is cold? I want to be like, okay, the tea may be cold, but like, look how many comments this has. Clearly people want to talk about this.
Also, the amount of people that said, I didn't know Boots was canceled.
Wait, what? Boots was canceled?
I was like, oh my God, I am the news. I was like, I am
BMW News.
I am people's news source.
BTW News.
Okay, I've got some news for you. I posted Bush on Maine.
I saw. I even responded to that clip. Yeah. Yeah, you had that the top down low.
Yeah, it was tasteful, I thought. But I had gotten feedback that I was giving Lindsay Funk in Arrested Development. Know when she wears the slut shirt at the prison because she didn't get enough attention from the inmates.
Wait, who told you that?
Sarah Mathis.
She's like, here's that attention you ordered.
I said, look, girl, I'm trying to put it all out there before I have to go back to corporate America. I'm trying to see who will finance my life.
You said I'm giving mom energy. Sarah Mathis is giving mom energy.
As it turns out, no buyers. No buyers for the Bush, but I'm pro-Bush. Especially in 2026.
I know you're very pro-Bush.
Pro-Bush. And speaking of Lindsay Funk, though, from Arrested Development, one of my favorite quotes from that show is she says something like about like caring for nature. And Michael, her brother, goes, Lindsay, you're wearing ostrich leather boots. And she goes, Michael, nobody cares about ostriches. I want to say that's my energy now that I have my first pair of Uggs. Shear the sheep.
Oh, you and Evie got Uggs this Christmas.
Is this her first like pair? Mm-hmm. Truly, I think world hunger, I think gun violence might be solved with every person in the world, 8 billion of them, far less than the 600 billion that Elon Musk has in his pocket. If everyone had a pair of Uggs, I think we would all just be happier people because truly without Wellbutrin and me just raw dogging life, these puppies are the only thing that's allowing me to put one foot in front of the other.
They're so comfortable.
They're so comfortable.
I love them. And I never understood the Ugg hate. Like I always felt like Uggs were straight men hating on women for being joyful. I don't know. Like Uggs are so nice.
Well, straight men have co-opted their girlfriend's closets because Justin Bieber loves an Ugg. Timothée Chalamet loves an Ugg.
I'm sure Billy Ray Cyrus wears an Ugg. I feel like he gives Ugg energy.
Caitlyn Jenner has been rocking Uggs. Not that she's a man, but
or a straight man at that. We digress.
But yeah, I love my Uggs, and they were the highlight of my Christmas holiday spent alone in Big Bear.
Okay, I want to hear more about Big Bear, but I guess I want to talk about Christmas and the holidays in general, and just like how fucking depressing they are. And I know that like you've been depressed for a minute. We talked about it on the show. There was one recording where you were like, I'm going to commit myself.
It was our last recording.
You know, the holidays are fucking hard and we're through them and we're about to get into the new year. But my God, it is so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me in particular, I don't speak to my family. So the holidays are usually rough. I think that Thanksgiving is an interesting one because you'll find that so many people say, come over. Like it's so open arms as a holiday. I think that many people find themselves as a +1 to a family's Thanksgiving ritual. Christmas, on the other hand, is very insular. Mm-hmm. I think that people are less open to just like invite a stranger off the street. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's much more capitalistic. It's not about just sharing a meal. It's about the exchanging of gifts.
Yeah.
So there's this awkwardness that comes with sitting at someone else's Christmas where
what are you doing?
What are you doing here? We barely have money to afford what's on this kid's nice list, let alone yours.
Well, it was even awkward for me because like, me and my husband have kids of varying ages. So his son came to the house and we recently, helped him move. We gave him money towards a new car. Like we have helped him with some big purchases. So my husband felt fine with like barely getting him anything for Christmas. He's like, we've already given him a lot. And so I felt awkward with my kids just opening gift after gift after gift. And we actually did it on Christmas morning, which we would never do. But my daughter was in the hospital during Hanukkah. So it was just like him sitting there. And then like he had a couple of like gift cards or whatever. And I'm like, okay.
I've been in that situation, having not spoken to my family in so many years and having like tagged along to other people's Christmases. It is so uncomfortable. It's like, yay! Like, whoever got whatever. I'm like,
yeah, Christmas is very, very weird. And then I feel like, it's, we've grown up with this idea of the holidays being such a joyful time of family and getting together and eating and just like singing and caroling. I've literally never had carolers in my life. Never seen a caroler.
well, you grew up in Texas, so
What does that mean?
I just feel like the holiday spirit in a place where it's rather warm has to be like a little bit lower.
It gets cold in Dallas.
But like you don't like I know
It doesn't snow.
It doesn't snow, or if it does snow, there's something wrong.
Yeah, it's like once every few years.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I think that the Christmas spirit, like carolers, lights everywhere, snow, like that is very East Coast or like Midwest vibes.
Well, you're very Americentric because also like British, when I think carolers, I actually think Britain more than I think of the East Coast.
Okay.
I don't think of Americans caroling.
I've caroled before.
Okay. I think people like...
My friend's Keith's mom, her name was Tammy. I love Tammy down. Tammy was the first functioning alcoholic I ever met in my life. When I came over for a sleepover, things got weird.
Oh my God. Tell me about it. Give me an example.
Like, she just was getting wacky.
Was she dancing? Was she singing?
She could cry. She could be elated.
Barely functioning alcoholic.
But Tammy wanted to go
Carol.
Christmas caroling, and we went Christmas caroling around our town.
Like how many people?
Like I don't know. We knocked on a few doors.
No, how many people in the group? You, Tammy, and
Me,
Keith?
Tammy, Keith's cousin, probably like 6 or 8 of us.
Okay, that's a good group.
Yeah. But like we knocked on people's doors and some people said, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stand here, sing me a song.
See, I feel like today my kids' age are like, that's cringe. Like they would absolutely not fucking do that.
Could you imagine we're about to be in 2026. There is no one walking around my town knocking on doors.
I'm afraid I'm getting shot. Are you kidding me? You can't even like make a U-turn in someone's driveway in 2026.
Can you believe that I've walked into a wrong person's home before and didn't get shot?
Excuse me?
You know this story.
Tell me
right?
again.
So speaking of being high, because I can't have a giggle without a little something in my system, I had smoked and gotten on the road and played, Rainbow Road out there, which I'm not proud of. It just is what it is. And I was going to Santa Monica to go to my friend Rena's house for the first time. I had never been to Rena's place before.
Okay.
So I park. I look at the house number. I'm like, okay, this is correct. So I knock on the door. There's no answer, but I see that the lights are on. And I'm like about to text my friend Gabby, who I'm closer with, who is already at this function. And I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to see if the door is open. I open the door and I'm now inside of this home and I don't see anyone. I'm kind of confused, but like I said, the lights are on. So I see that there's a hallway towards the back and I'm like, oh, maybe I've never been here before. I'm now coming up with like a whole story for myself.
God.
I'm like, there's a backyard. Everyone's in the backyard. I'm just going to keep on walking. So I start towing towards the back of this place and it's real hard wood, so it's starting to creak and something starts to turn in my stomach and I'm like, no, this isn't right. Like I need to turn around. As I start turning around, someone comes out of a bedroom. She's on the cell phone and she goes, who are you? Who are you? Get out of my house. Get out of my house. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I walk out of there. I'm like shaken up. I call Gabby right away. I'm like, I literally was just in someone else's home. Where are you? She comes out of a back alley, like the back alley that's adjacent to this home, and is like, we're back here. I'm like, what? This house has the same number as the address that you provided me. I'm so confused. They're like, what happened? I said, I just walked into a stranger's home. I'm surprised I didn't just get shot.
Oh my God. You're so lucky that you don't live in Texas.
I said, I'm so lucky that I'm white.
Definitely lucky that you're white. Oh my God.
I was like, but okay, she didn't know who I was. I think that if you spent like 60 seconds with me, you'd probably be like, gay man, okay. But I was like, I'm a 6'2", just like.
I was about to say, you're a 6'2" male, like, I don't care what your race is, age is, sexuality is. I'm thinking this man's going to overtake me.
This is a woman alone in her bedroom.
Yes. Oh my God. How old was she? Do you think?
Mid-20s.
Okay, young.
She will never keep that door unlocked ever again.
Oh my God. In fucking LA, get real, lady. Oh my gosh, that's fucking scary. My kids have like walked into wrong cars before, but never a wrong home. That's crazy.
I will never, walk in without someone opening the door for me.
Yeah, you both learned a lesson that day.
Yeah, that it was, unless I can actually see the people.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, I want to hear more about like your holiday in Big Bear.
Well, speaking of the holidays being depressing, usually where I have found joy during the Christmas season is through film. And my favorite Christmas movie is The Holiday with Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet. And I've spent Christmases alone, and I think that I've done a really good job at knowing when I need a vacation and not like relying on anyone else to tag along. Like, I'll do whatever Bryan needs to do for himself. And this Christmas was not unlike that. I just kind of was like, okay, where do I need to go be alone? And without a real ID or a valid passport, I was kind of stuck to the confines of California. So I was like, let me go live my Cameron Diaz dream out. You know, I'm not going to be able to go to London and be in a cottage, but let me play that out here.
Right.
So I got myself a little lodge in Big Bear. And she has this quote in the movie that I think like really encapsulates how I was feeling, which is, I guess what I was feeling was that I didn't want to be alone over the holidays, and that if I was somewhere else that I wouldn't realize that I was alone. But then I got here and never felt more alone in my life. Big surprise. Which is like, I think a shade of the truth of my time in Big Bear. Driving up there, the rain was crazy in LA and there was fog across the entire mountain. I was like still on Spotify on one hand searching for my next song, but I was like, I truly could just turn off of this mountain. Like, everyone's hazard lights were on. I got to the mountain. I felt like I was Cameron Diaz, like trudging through the forest with my suitcase in the snow, trying to get everything in as it was like ice cold rain. I kept a fireplace ablaze the entire time. I had brought in firewood.
A real wood fireplace.
Yeah, a real wood fireplace. Yeah. So that was nice and comfy. And I started watching the first Harry Potter, which I like realized it is the only one with any Christmas element, because I don't know if you grew up with this, the 25 Days of Christmas on ABC Family.
Yeah.
So Harry Potter was always a part of that lineup.
So interesting. I don't even think of that as a Christmas movie.
So I think a lot of people from my generation equate Harry Potter with Christmas.
That's interesting.
But it's interesting because it's really only the first one where Christmas is a plot.
Right.
Or a part of the plot. So watched that, and yeah, it was just like, the 24th was hard because it was so cold and rainy, and I was just like, I'm stuck in this lodge. Like, I'm thankful that I have this fireplace. Like, I'm thankful that I am able to provide myself this like experience. I've never been here before, but it was lonely. And then also at night, having run the fireplace all day, and then also it only being a gas heater, and I'd never used my heat in LA at all, I was like kind of like choking on the air, and I was like, am I going to die of CO2 poisoning?
Oh my God.
So I'd open the window at night, and then it was like bricks outside.
Yeah.
I mean, it was frigid temperatures. So that was like, I was combating this stale air with like just Arctic tundra winds.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't sleep. And I would like, every time I would doze off, I was like, kind of come back. I would kind of come to and I'd be like, am I going to wake up tomorrow?
Wait, so why didn't you, was the fire going at night?
Not anymore, but it had been running all day.
Okay.
And it wasn't like smoke was coming.
Right.
From like,
yeah, you would have been fine.
But I was
sleeping.
it was just that it was like an unnatural environment for me. Like I'm not somebody who's tending to a fire all day. And it does make the air feel like just dry.
Wait, and you didn't want to turn the gas heater on?
I had the gas heater on too. That was contributing to the staleness in the air that I wasn't used to.
Yeah, okay.
So then I would let those Arctic tundra winds come in, and I was like in bed with a heated blanket, and I was like,
your anxiety must have been through the fucking roof.
I was like, this is a step up from camping for sure. Like I have walls.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is interesting. But another realization I had on this trip was I watched Paul Mescal in this gay movie called The History of Sound. Mm-hmm. And this is the second Christmas alone in LA that I've spent watching a Paul Mescal gay movie.
Okay.
Because 2 years ago in 2023, there was a movie with Paul Mescal called All of Us Strangers. Yes. And I went to see that on Christmas Day. I came out of that movie and I was like, I'm so depressed. Like,
oh my God.
I am so down bad. That movie honestly was a contributor to me getting my first gay therapist coming out of 2023 into 2024.
Or maybe 1 year removed. Going to 2025.
Actually, I think that the message had to sit with me for 2 years in order for me to not employ just one gay therapist, but I ran through 2 gay therapists this year. But anyways, it was nice in the sense that I like really had to take stock of what it is that I want going into next year. I think I did a lot of that mapping during Christmas. And I should say I freed up that mental bandwidth coming out of that trip to not spend the remainder of 2025 thinking about what I wanted for 2026. I was like, I just kind of was like, let me use this time alone to my advantage.
Okay. Did you end up doing the snowboarding?
No. So the Big Bear Mountain canceled it all in the days leading up to it because of the rain.
Okay.
And in my little town, so I was in this town called Green Valley Mountain. And it truly only had a post office and a general store.
Oh my gosh.
And that was the only thing for miles.
Okay, you really were Cameron Diaz.
I was really Cameron Diaz. And I was on a street called Yukon Drive. My number one song this year was Yukon by Justin Bieber.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that kind of cool?
Yeah.
So I went down to the general store at one point for more firewood. They were open on Christmas Day. And Christmas Day was the only day where there was like a little bit of sunshine and I was able to like walk down to this lake and like walk around it and really enjoy nature, yada, yada. But then it started to take another turn for the worse. And the guy at the general store, when I made my second pit stop for more firewood, he was like, you better be prepared if you're from out of town. Like we might really get hit with snow. And I was like, girl, what does that mean? Because like I already heard someone say in this general store earlier something about like the electricity possibly going out. And if that happens, I'm out of here.
Well, what are you going to do? Like you're not going to outrun a snowstorm.
No, what, me?
Yeah.
I'm going to outrun the snowstorm.
No, you're not.
No, if the snow starts falling down, I'm zooting down that mountain in my Mazda 3 because otherwise this was the problem. He said, oh, well, don't worry. If we do get hit, I have chains for your tires. Yeah. And I started to hear this like language around chains on your tires. I grew up with snow. Speaking about Christmas and me not feeling like you had it in Dallas, we had snow in New Jersey. Yeah. So I've driven around with snow on the ground my entire life. No one has chains on their tires when you're on...
Yeah, it's like flatter.
When you're on flat ground. Yeah. I guess the chains are, because if you're going down a mountain with snow, guess who could just be flying?
Yeah, you're done.
You're done. Well, I didn't want to entertain what it looked like for Brian Taylor White to have to figure out what it meant to put chains on his tires.
You didn't outrun the snowstorm. You stayed?
Well, what I was going to say is the snow, luckily the snow didn't come.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So Mother Nature was working on behalf of me because it didn't snow until The next morning,
Okay.
it started to come down, but it was really wet and it wasn't sticking. And I was already driving away.
Okay. Well, I did not have nearly as an eventful Christmas Eve, Christmas as you. I was over here in the normal part of California where it was not snowing. It was simply raining. And my daughter was in the hospital for 5 days up to December 23rd. They let her out. They probably shouldn't have let her out. She's still quite sick and had to see a specialist yesterday, but that's neither here nor there. But leading up to Christmas, so we knew we were going to have the visitor and my stepson. That was already creating some anxiety for me for different reasons, like having to get the house like spotless, because when I have guests, I have to get the house spotless, like entertaining someone in your home.
But you had just spent the following like week and a half
in the hospital.
In the hospital.
Yeah. So like, and it was like, is she going to even be out for Christmas? Like, what are we going to do? I knew I had one day to get my house in order, which is really, really anxious.
Also, hosting is a job. And in the midst of this, you were like having the hardest job of being a parent of a sick child, while also having a job.
I have a job. And then I have another child who has shit that he's supposed to be doing. Like now he's, supposed to be going to practice and all this stuff. Anyway.
Practice.
He doesn't know about practice. Anyway. So the rain started coming down so heavily. I have a backyard that has like all these drains. Like it has really good drainage in the backyard. We have drains in the actual soil, and then there's drains in like the concrete patio.
Because otherwise your backyard would be flooded?
Which is exactly what happened.
Oh my gosh, it's like marshland?
No, it's not marshland. It's a regular ass backyard. But I like look in the backyard and I tell my son, I'm like, our backyard is flooded. The water's almost to the French doors. So I'm like, why is the drains not draining? So me and Asher get back there. We get 2 buckets. We're like taking the buckets and we're throwing it to like the side of the house. I'm getting like this thing where I'm like pushing.
This sounds like George Bush's plan for Hurricane Katrina.
I mean, period. And I could not count on any FEMA. I'm just like, what's happening? My neighbor's calling me over and over again. I'm like, what's going on? A neighbor I haven't seen in a while. He's like, hey, I'm trying to stop by your house. Like, are you guys home? I'm like, yeah, we're home, but like our house is flooded. He's like, I'm going to stop by. I'm like, okay, great. So like we're bucketing. We're like, heave-hoeing.
What was he stopping by for?
To drop off some conchas.
Okay. What is that?
Mexican bread.
Okay. Did you give him anything in return?
No. We spent like 30 minutes trying to clear this drain. And all it needed was us to heave-ho the
Drano.
water. No, you can't Drano an outside drain. But it was inundated. It was like, it was so inundated it couldn't drain.
Yeah.
So like we made space for it. Like I had sandbags. I put sandbags to block like where the water was coming into this one drain. It was really fucking crazy. Meanwhile, my husband's at work. It's me and my child. Like my other child's sick. No, my other child's in the hospital. So it's me and Asher like trying to protect our home. It was real like homesteading. You were up north like bracing for a snowstorm. Meanwhile, we're like dealing with a rainstorm.
I wasn't bracing for shit. I was bracing for my escape.
So yeah, it was fucking crazy. We cleared it out to where the drains could like drain normally. My daughter came home that day. The next day, my stepson came. It was fine. Yeah, it's a lot. I fucking hate the holidays. My mom had texted a week before and she's like, hey guys, this is the day your dad died, just in case you wanted to know. On December 18th. And I'm like, no, I remember. My dad committed suicide. Because the holidays are horrible.
What do you think's worse? Having a birthday right before Christmas or right after Christmas, or having a loved one who died as an anniversary date right before or right after
Let's ask
Christmas?
my sister whose birthday is today.
That would be a really great test pool.
My sister's birthday is New Year's Eve. Her dad died on December 18th by suicide. She has Christmas in between both of these things. Also, growing up with a birthday on New Year's Eve, it fucking sucks because like one, people have already given you Christmas gifts, so they think that they can kind of skimp on giving you a birthday gift. Mm-hmm. People are going out for New Year's Eve. They're not necessarily going out to celebrate you. You're just like a nice, convenient, like, we'll tack you on.
So my friend's mom, their daughter, it's her birthday today, Nikki's birthday. And Nikki would always have her birthdays in the summer because her mom was like, my kid's not getting skimped on gifts.
Oh, good.
Because they had a pool in their backyard. So she was like, pick a date from June 1st to August 31st. Whatever day you want to be your birthday, we'll have everyone over.
That's really cute. I think she should do half birthday, which would be June 31st.
Okay.
So the holidays are kind of janky when you're not a child. I think that my children had a pretty good Christmaskkuh or Hanukkah, however you choose to say it. But yeah, it kind of sucks for adults.
A lot of people have been talking about like how much they're realizing their parents cultivated the Christmas magic. When you are responsible for that for yourself, it's a lot more work.
And I think millennials and like older Gen Zs who are having children realize how fucking tiring it is to cultivate magic for their own children. And like you realize, oh shit, like I should have given my parents so much props for all the shit that they were doing, the decorating, the baking, all that stuff. It's a lot. So, but on the other hand, we get to go into the new year with a delusional sense of optimism of like, new year, new me.
I know. Well, also it's interesting. We were talking about the rain. It's like last year started with the fires in LA.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this last night with all of this rain that's coming our way. I'm like, this feels like such a better omen, or like this is very LA specific, but like to start a year on rain versus fire,
yeah,
it feels really refreshing. It feels like a rebirth. I mean, meanwhile, 10 days from now, we could be talking about mudslides that
literally
are
deathly
and sweeping people's homes away. But I just think that, you know, for a region of California that is oftentimes desperate for rainfall, it feels like this is such a clear juxtaposition from the start of 2025.
Well, and you were so affected by the fires. I mean, you ended up like fleeing LA, which caused a domino effect of events in your life where you left and then was not going to come back, but you came back.
Yeah, I mean, this year has been the hardest year on record for me in my adult life, I think, since having financial autonomy. Mm-hmm. I think it's just important to say, like, the hardest year of my adult life would have probably been the year of COVID, the year in which I, like, finally cut my family off for good. Mm. But that time period in my life, I also was so deeply financially insecure. I mean, I come from a poorer family who doesn't have resources, and I've always had to depend on myself in that way since like being 16 and working nearly 40 hours a week at a Walgreens. And like, that's all I've known since 16 is like work to survive. Like, there were times in college when I was a full-time student, a Pell Grant student, a work-study student with an internship, a job at P.F. Chang's, and trying to maintain a GPA that would allow me cum laude. And it's just like, I'm paying rent, like I'm trying to pay rent with the PF Chang's check. I'm having this free internship. I'm going to my work study. I'm in school. Like, that was all so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And then the culmination of that was falling flat on my face after COVID and going back home to an abusive family, and then finally having to cut them off, and then having to figure out what was next for me. And then finally I got a job at a corporation that was then bought by Amazon. That buyout allowed me to basically restart my life. Like, I didn't even have a vehicle at that time. Literally, that buyout is what allowed me to get the car that I have now that has survived an arsonist setting it on fire, and drive out of New Jersey and spend a year and a half in Nashville trying to heal before I came back to LA. And since then, I feel like I've been on this trajectory of like upward mobility financially, mentally, whatever. This year, like, really took me back down, like in major ways. Like, you know, I was talking about the therapy, like I had started the therapy in 2024. Mm-hmm. So that is right. Like, I saw All of Us Strangers at the end of 2023. In 2024, I did start the therapy. Mm-hmm. In 2025, with the fires, you know, happening here, I was in New York City. I'm from the East Coast. My dream was never to be in LA. My dream growing up was always New York City. It's just that then I got involved in the entertainment industry and I found myself out here because that's where it lies. I remember graduating college and having like an informational, that's what I was looking for, with like a guy from HBO, and he was in their like director of creative, but that's a marketing term, or like he was on their marketing team. And he was like, yeah, there's no jobs in New York for like creative production. Production is all LA. He's like, marketing comes out of New York, or like publications are in New York, like media's in New York. But like, as far as like, if you want to be a part of producing film, television, you have to be in LA. Yeah. So that's what shot me over here. But the fires really had me saying to myself, would I rather burn with LA or sink with New York? And like, I really do think that this is about like the climate in which you grew up in, and like understanding what like survival instincts you have. I was like, I'd rather sink any day. I'd rather sink with New York any day. Like, and I mean that literally. Like, my biggest fear, like Octavia Butler, who wrote Parable of the Sower, I mean, like all of these dystopian tales, I mean, they were drawing from science, but, or history. It's like, one of my biggest fears in that novel, which takes place in California, is being gridlocked in LA. Like, there is no way out. Like, we saw it with the Palisades. Like, this, basically all of my biggest fears were then becoming headlines. People had to leave their cars and walk down the side of the Pacific Coast Highway in order to get out to survive. Yeah. Yeah. There is nowhere else like that in America where you could just be stuck because there's nowhere to go. You just, there's nowhere to drive out towards. Yeah. You could jump into the Hudson and swim your way to New Jersey.
That's crazy.
I mean, you'd have to be a good swim.
Yeah, but like, it's possible.
But that's where my mind goes. But like beyond the fires, I mean, I came back. I thought that I was going to move to New York. I literally sold everything in my apartment within 30 days. Another 30 days, like within a month, I had sold all my belongings, packed up my car, drove across the country, lasted 60 days on the East Coast with my brother and my sister-in-law, tried to play the New York City real estate market, realized that I couldn't afford it, had to drive back to LA, start my life anew back in West Hollywood. And like, it just dawned on me very early. I was like, nothing about what led me out of LA changed with me coming back.
So let's talk about what's going to change in 2026. Like, what are we doing in order to make our next year, maybe not our best year, but a better year? Because it's been a hard year for both of us. So what are we doing to better this year? What are you doing?
No more male gay therapists. I can't use them as my as a way to have gay male friends.
Okay.
Instead, I need a no sense lesbian therapist. That's what I've decided. I'm on the hunt for her.
Okay, a no nonsense lesbian therapist.
Yes, and speaking of our lesbian friend Steph, who has trichotillomania.
Yeah.
Do you know it? Okay.
Yeah, where she pulls her hair.
So our friend pulls her hair. Her therapist said, she's no nonsense. She said, if you pull your hair, you're going to have to donate to the GOP $10.
Whoa.
So then she went back to her next therapy session, and this woman holds her accountable towards everything. She goes, have you been pulling your hair? And she tried to squirm away from the answer. And she was like, you pulled your hair. And she goes, you're donating $10 to the GOP right now. She's like, no, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Her therapist was like, I will not have another session with you. I will end this right now. This service will be rendered complete if you don't donate $10 to the GOP right now. She had to donate $10 to the GOP, and she's not pulled out her hair since.
Whoa.
She's gone to hypnotists. She's like, had therapy for years. This person actually held her accountable.
Well, the person
in a way that like changed her brain chemistry.
She found something that actually made her feel accountable. So my cousin Bridget, when my great grandmother was alive and when my grandmother was alive, we used to have family reunions in Natchitoches, Louisiana. It is the most humid, bug-ridden place you've ever been to. They still have plantations, like huge, beautiful plantations. Like, I mean, they're not working plantations.
That sounds like a Trump phrase. Huge, beautiful plantations.
Big, beautiful plantations, beautiful, like these mansions, right? But we would go, and my cousin Bridget used to suck her thumb, like well into adulthood.
Okay.
And so she tried everything. Like her mom like threatened her with everything. She tried therapy. All this stuff, just like Steph. And the thing that worked was my uncles, my great uncles, they were fishermen, and there was a creek that ran behind my great grandma's house. They had gotten this bucket of candy, and all these children in a line, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and they were like, close your eyes and take a piece of candy out of the bucket. So one by one, all the grandchildren take out candy out of the bucket. Like you get a candy bar, you get whatever, lollipop, whatever. They get to my cousin Bridget. They're like, get your candy out of the bucket. And she puts her hand in the bucket, and it's just a bucket filled with worms. And she's fucking terrified of worms. And she's like, she sticks it in, it's all nasty, whatever. And she's like crying. She's like running around crazy. Like, why would you do this? Blah, blah, blah. She stopped sucking her thumb.
Wait, but why? What was the correlation?
Because the correlation between her hand in that bucket, and they like said when she did it, like, stop sucking your thumb or you're going to get this again. And she stopped sucking her thumb.
Yeah, that's wild.
Her brain made a connection between that moment and the thumb sucking, and she stopped doing it.
Speaking of worms, I think Benny Drama said this, or Benito Skinner, let's refer to him by his real name. But on their podcast with Mary Beth Bruin, they were once talking about, like, where are the worms, especially after rains, like, growing up, like...
They were everywhere.
They were everywhere.
We don't have anything anymore. We don't have lightning bugs.
No lightning bugs.
We don't have anything anymore.
You know what I don't want any more of?
What?
Mosquitoes.
Well, we fucking still have those.
We still have those.
When you were growing up, did you ever go on road trips? No? Okay. Well, when I was growing up, there used to be so many bugs on the windshields. Where are the bugs on the windshields?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Define a road trip.
Just like a drive, a few hour drive.
Yeah, I mean, New Jersey is much like California. I think they're very similar in terms of you can drive an hour to in any given direction, and you could be in the mountains, in the Poconos, or go to the beach. So all to say, like, every day in New Jersey was almost like a road trip.
Well, I just remember driving from like Dallas to Houston to visit my family, and there would be bugs on the windshield. There are no longer bugs on the windshield. What happened to them? Where are dragonflies?
Dragonflies I only ever saw at my mom's house because she lived in the woods. I don't remember dragonflies ever just being in even my suburban town.
Okay. I know the answer to all of this probably has to be pesticides, but...
I thought you were going to say climate change.
But climate change, it's a shift in climate, right? So some places should still have these things and they just don't exist. Like lightning bugs probably do still exist in wooded areas, but we used to have them in the city in Dallas. My kids have never seen a lightning bug in real life.
Really?
No, they've only seen them in TV shows or cartoons. Yeah. Where are they?
Asher's like what,
16 years old.
I used to. Did you ever go to the dollar store
and
or like trap them? There were lightning bug traps.
Like kits.
Kits. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Kids don't have the same experiences. No wonder they're all so fucking wacky.
Lightning bugs have a smell.
Do they? Like their little lightning booties?
Like I just remember collecting them and always kind of being like,
interesting.
like there was something.
They were emitting something.
They were like, at least on my hands, I felt.
I mean, that makes sense because I have a distinct memory, and this may be a false memory that I made up, of like getting like electrocuted by one, like getting a little.
No.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but.
So maybe it's a false memory.
I love that for your delusional brain. Okay, 2026, what do you want?
I mean, I want so much. Like, I mean,
as Alabama Barker might say, not too much now.
I want too much. Do you believe in numerology at all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I believe in astrology. I believe in numerology.
All the ologies.
I believe in the ologies.
Okay,
Ologies are science.
They are science. I mean, literally, it just means the study of. That's what
Yeah.
ology means. I don't even know numerology, but much like Cynthia Erivo, I think of myself as a person who has a little bit of synesthesia. And for me, even...
You think of yourself, or you have?
I mean, to me, like, numbers have colors that are connected to them. And for me...
Has that always been the case?
Always been the case as a child. And I talked to my daughter about it, and she was like, yeah, duh. She's like, number 3 is green. I was like, the number 3 is definitely green. Number 5 is definitely reddish orange. Like, and we agree with this. So it's really, really weird.
This is how you know you don't have aphantasia.
Okay, then I don't have that, but I have synesthesia. And for me, I don't know the science of numerology. Like, I don't have a numerology book. I don't know, like, when things add up to this number, what it means. But what I do know is that even years feel much better than odd years for me. So 2026 versus 2025 feels better to me.
Interesting. I will say when something ends on a 5, I'm cool with it. That is the only odd number.
I know why. Because it's divisible by 10. Right?
I don't know. I'm so bad at math that I'll say, yeah, that's...
No, but it's like counting by 5s. Like, you can get to an even number.
Yes.
One step away. It's 5, 10, 15,
yes,
20,
yes.
25, 30. You know what I mean? Like, it has some divisibility to it.
Like, I love when our follower count goes to like a 5 or a 0.
Because even though 5 is not a round number, it feels like a round number.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel that. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Maybe you have synesthesia and aphantasia.
No, because I'm not, there's no color sensation attached to
No, but it's not
feeling
necessarily colors. Because sometimes people can, like, see music, or it's not necessarily just color based. It's like having a sense dedicated to something it should not be dedicated to.
I have no talents.
That's not true. You have the gift of yap.
Even then I malfunction. Even then someone would be like, is he stuttering? Does he know the English vocabulary? And the answer would be yes and no.
I think that's a gift. It's a gift and a curse. For 2026, obviously, like, I have my own personal things. Like, I want this show to continue to grow. I would like this show to become something that pays my bills in the near future. And never say never. Don't yuck my yum.
I want it to pay our bills for sure.
In the near future.
In the near future. At the very least, I would love for it to give me a little extra cash so I could go get a Bottega Andiamo bag.
I don't know the words. Do you speak the English language? I don't speak Italian.
Sono un ragazzo americano.
I want my kids to be healthier. Like, they're both are like, they've gone through it in the last year.
Yeah, they need some vitamin D.
Well, my daughter needs iron. She definitely needs iron.
I was trying to say the vitamin C lollipops. They need one of those a day.
They both fight on that front, but, you know, but honestly, what I would like is our political system to get better. And what I need is for young people in the political system in this midterm, we have midterms this year, to realize they cannot be voting by vibes. Like, I want young people to stop being like, oh yeah, that guy's cool. He went on Joe Rogan. I'm voting for him.
Okay, wait. Do you know who Clavicular is? This guy?
No.
Oh my God. He's an insane, like, live streamer. He literally hit somebody with his car the other day. He's all about looks maxing. Like, he would sit here today and tell us all of the reasons why we're ugly and how we could be better.
Let's invite him on.
He is a nut. But okay, so he was on a podcast and like he like veers into like alt-right territory. Of course, he's like using the N-word. He's a white man. Like, and he's like I'm allowed to, like, whatever.
Of course, because he's like, words don't have meaning.
That exactly that. But looks maxing comes first for him above all. He's like, yeah, Gavin Newsom's gonna beat JD Vance because JD Vance has a recessed jaw. Honestly, if this is where the alt-right is headed, that we just need somebody with a crimson chin to win against Trump.
I mean, I don't know. I'm like, is this good for us
Put
or
me
bad?
in, coach.
Is this good for us or bad for us? Because then I feel like maybe they'll just get someone good looking and they'll be like, oh, bro has riz. Like, you know what I mean?
That is where we're at. Luckily for us, at least in the year of our Lord about to be 2026, the Republican candidates or the Republican Party, they look whack. I mean, bring up the Vanity Fair photos.
I mean, here's the problem is like, I feel like everyone should be able to do whatever they want to do to their face and to make themselves happy. I am for gender affirming care, no matter what that means for you.
I got Juvederm right here, right here, right here.
Okay. I feel like they make the worst decisions, the GOP, like when it comes to their looks maxing.
It's because they go to people that look like them.
It's so bad. Like, oh, girl, the one that's like...
the needle marks in her lips. Oof.
You know she's pregnant again.
I know. My sister-in-law said that. She was like... And I was like, I didn't... What I will say is I didn't realize that her hubby was...
60.
60.
She's 28. And
is he a septuagenarian?
He's a sesquigenarian. He's not quite sept yet. Yeah.
Sept is 7.
Yeah, sept is 7.
September.
That's not the 7th month, though.
No, it isn't.
Oct is 8, and October's not the 8th month. We can get into a history lesson. Nov is 9, Dece is 10. We can get into a history lesson, but not today on why that's no longer the case.
Because that was smart of me to think about that, right? Because I was like, that would make sense.
They used to be the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th month. But Julius Caesar created July and August for son Augustus, and therefore they got shifted.
We should just all stab Caesar.
Anyway, I just want like life. I want the vibes to be better. Like you were very, very young in the 90s, so you don't remember. The 90s were so delicious. The 90s vibes are so incredible. I watched a reel. It was a 2-minute reel of the 90s in media form. And I was like...
No, I had a real childhood. I rode my bike to the park every day after school. We all met up there. We hung out there until the sun went down. People had baseball games. There was a snack stand open.
Baseball games, I know there were some dragonflies there.
For sure. Didn't give a fuck about what was going on at that field. No one did, because any of the young kids who had siblings who were playing baseball were yet again on the playground, eating their hot dogs, eating their Fun Dip. All to say... Childhood was childhooding. I'm glad, I was thinking about this even last night. I'm glad that in high school, I didn't have something like TikTok telling me about looks maxing, and that, you know, I didn't have to be like, as already for a generation that grew up with, you know, the internet and Instagram coming about in like 8th grade, like there was already so much to consume, but not in the way that it exists today.
I mean, when I was in my teens and 20s, we were out there living life. Like, I think millennials had like peak club culture. I think we had peak club culture.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine kids fucking going to clubs and dancing the way we were dancing because of phones, like being recorded and then being turned into a meme or being turned into, you know what I mean? So like, so much has been taken from future generations via cell phones and social media. It's really, really sad. And then like, even when I talk to my kids about, you know, you should do this, you should do that, everything is cringe. And I'm like, cringe comes from culture of like looking outside of yourself, seeing how other people are perceiving you, making a decision that they would see you in a negative light and you being like, no, that's cringe. And that's so sad to me.
I will say, going back to the like cellular usage of it all, I got a brick last night.
Explain what a brick is, and I'll explain where the term comes from.
A brick is a little cube, and essentially when you tap it, it turns off all of the distracting apps on your phone. And I know that I need something that will inhibit me from just endless scrolling or just being on anything that like isn't working my mind. Like, I just got back into reading on my Kindle every night, and I'm like, I need to read every day.
Yeah.
I think I read every day, closed captions or what I am consuming on my phone, or the fact that I'm scrolling through emails or responding to them or looking at scripts at my job. But like reading for pleasure is another thing that I really want to make sure that I'm doing in 2026.
Also, like reading for nutritious value versus delicious value. Like I feel like social media, even if you're not just scrolling videos, if you're on Reddit and you're reading, like it's for delicious value. It's feeding some other like dopamine thing. It's not for nutritious value, which I think that feeding your soul and feeding your brain need to take priority. Like I would love for that to take priority in 2026 for me. And it's interesting because like before knowing about what a brick was as a tool, I knew about like having a brick for a phone. So people in my generation, so many of what they're doing is they're giving their child a bricked phone, which is basically like a flip phone.
I've heard it called dummy phone.
Yeah, okay, a dummy phone, like where they don't have any of those applications already on the phone.
I am trying to figure out, which I just need to Google, is can I have a dummy phone that's connected to my number while also having my iPhone? Because I'd love to go out in public with just my dummy phone.
I don't know. It may have to be something, two types of phone that share the same kind of SIM card, and you'd have to take the SIM card out of one and put it in the other one. So I don't know.
I think you're right on that, which I don't want to have two different numbers.
Yeah.
I just want to have a dummy phone that shares my number, which maybe that's a really great invention for Apple.
Or somebody else, like...
yeah, but we all have iPhones, so like I have to be real with it. It's like what's going to allow us to walk away from this device with some power.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you're straddling the line of like I still want it and need it in some capacity, which I do feel like, life would be really hard without a smartphone.
Nearly impossible. Yeah, so you bricked your phone.
I'm bricking my phone.
You're bricking your
phone. I'm on
the
pathway to bricking my phone.
In 2026, I just want to be more intentional about how I spend my time generally.
That is the word that I'm bringing into 2026 is just I want to be living with intention. So like going back to the therapist of it all, or everything that we're doing with this podcast, or what I'm putting into my body. Like I just think that if intention is at front and center, then everything else will fall in line.
Yeah, but I don't want to become obsessive with it, because what I do know about myself is that I'm an all or nothing person. And it's in so many capacities. Like when I'm like in healthy mode, like I'm with like my diet's on point, my exercise is on point. But then if I slip a little, then I slip a lot. And I want to be able to slip a little and just get back into it, or not just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Well, that's where my next therapist, I really want to hire them as just an accountability coach, almost like what Steph found in hers. I think that I'm all or nothing too. And you're riding the high of all, and then you find yourself slipping, and then you're at the low of nothing. I think having someone who's holding you accountable of like tracking what needs to be front and center before you move on to the next thing, or what it is that you're working up towards.
Yeah, for sure.
I think when you go at it all at once, then it comes crumbling down rather quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that we're probably both guilty of that.
So I think for both of us, the word intention should be our North Star for 2026.
For sure. And coming out of Marty Supreme, dream big.
Okay, let's talk Marty Supreme really quickly.
Okay, Marty Supreme, I went and saw it on Sunday, and I know you haven't seen it yet, so I won't include any spoilers, but the marketing has been huge. I mean, the lead up to the movie, Timothée Chalamet is working overtime. A lot of people attribute it to the Kardashians playbook. Have you thought about that? Because I didn't. That is an original thought.
No, but that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense to me, and I think that there might be some truth to it. And then also, it's kind of ripping a page out of Barbie Pink, Brat Lime Green to Marty Supreme Orange. Mm-hmm. What I will say that's interesting about the Marty Supreme Orange is, did you ever see the clips of Timothée on like the fake Zoom trying to sell?
Yes.
Okay, so like that was a whole bit. But that bit was inspired from a moment in the movie, which is really just a small subplot, is he's delusionally confident as a table
Ping-ponger?
tennis.
Oh, table tennis player?
Table tennis player.
Okay.
But also that delusion comes from he really is great, and it's just that he is continuing to bet on himself. But where it feeds more into these delusions of grandeur is like him wanting to make a ping pong ball orange. Like him wanting to rebrand something that's iconic. Like think about taking a baseball and saying like an American baseball is now bright pink.
Yeah. Okay.
Like Marty's like, he's like, what if it were orange? It's just this small moment.
Yeah.
And then like these ping pong balls end up being produced by like someone he's friends with. And like, it really doesn't go anywhere is the fact of the matter. Which is what makes it so interesting that it's been extrapolated to become kind of the tie-in for the film.
The thing that's incredible about this film and this marketing to me is that most of the people that I've talked to about this who even know anything about the movie, all they know is that it's Timothée Chalamet and that he is a table tennis player. Like, they don't know anything about the plot, but just having the marketing and those two facts, they're like, I'm in. And the thing that's really kind of interesting to me too is like, this is A24's most expensive movie. It is more expensive than Civil War. Mm-hmm. It had an incredible first opening weekend. It's made back more than half of the money that was spent on the budget. And they're now with this movie calling Timothée Chalamet a holiday, like a guaranteed holiday
King
movie.
King
of Christmas, which before that he had Wonka and he had A Complete Unknown, both released during or near Christmas.
Yeah, they were both Christmas movies.
And they were saying,
in terms of release,
I've been reading that we have not had a person who has reliably been able to book a holiday weekend since Will Smith, who was the king of 4th of July weekend.
Wow. Also, coming into 2026, Timothy's already on the Christmas calendar with Dune Part 3.
I saw.
Which has my other man, Robert Pattinson. Love me our Pats.
Okay. Are you sexually attracted to Timothée Chalamet?
Not in his current hairstyle, but overall, yes.
So if you had to go Robert Pattinson or Timothée Chalamet, who you choose?
Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson's like my number one. Like, I think that he's just so cute and awkward and talented, and I don't know.
I would have never shipped that for you.
Don't know the man, think the world of him. But okay, but other than Timothée, who obviously hits it out of the park in this movie, and I think there's no surprise there, he is like our true new A-lister of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Like the way that people go and see a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, people are going to the theaters to see Timothée Chalamet. And I think that that is what drew him to this character. He wants to be a great. He has said as much. Like, and it's about towing this line between coming across as cocky, but also if you're not betting on yourself and you're not speaking into existence what it is that you want, who's going to do that for you?
Yeah, and I think that he has proven this across so many genres too, right? Like, and he's a rapper.
And he's a rapper. Oh my God, I forgot. I wanted to bring this in because prior to Marty Supreme being released, there was this whole crisis on the internet of whether or not Timothée Chalamet was this British rapper SD Kid. If you see their eyes and their eyes alone, they look very similar.
The evidence points to yes.
The evidence was pointing to yes.
Until
Timothée Chalamet ended up doing a cover with SD Kid. And you have to remember, in the week leading up to the cover being released, major journalists, like anyone he was sitting down with, was finally asking, like, it was no longer just a conspiracy theory on like the internet. It was something that was like, people were trying to verify.
Yes. It's like Banksy of rap.
Yes. And he was like, I'm not going to say too much on that right now.
Too much.
He was like, not too much. He was like, but it will come out in time. And that felt like such an evasive answer that like it was pointing in the direction of yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like, it's like, if you're not going to say no, then like the alternative here is yes.
Yeah.
But then the other conspiracy attached to that was, no, maybe he's just like hyping up an up and coming rapper because Timothée would do that, which is exactly what he was doing until he got his verse and his bars to promote Marty Supreme on a remix of an SD Kid song, and it slapped.
It did. It did.
I was proud of little Timmy Tim because he wanted to be a rapper.
Since he's a child. I mean, once he was that performing arts fucking junior high, he's on stage doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Timmy loves him some Black culture. I mean, he's with Kylie. This is her first white man.
That's Black adjacent.
They're the biggest culture vultures of Black culture in America.
I won't put this on him, but I hope Timothée Chalamet does not suffer from the same thing that happened to Justin Timberlake, where Black culture so embraced him that when he didn't end up with a Black woman, Black women were like, "How dare you?"
Well, Timothy's never been, not publicly with a Black woman.
Yeah, so I guess that's the thing. Like, Timothée,
his friend, he has a lot of Black friends that have repped him for a long time, where he went on a podcast and was saying like, Black culture is something that I deeply appreciate and has been a part of my life for so long.
Yeah. And I do think, going back to the Kardashian culture of it all, culture with a K, the work culture, I do think that this is why the marketing ended up working in his favor and not against him, because I could easily see the marketing being so inundating that you're fucking annoyed and you're like, it's everywhere. I can't get away from it. I'm not going to watch this movie. I think that it came through as authentic. Like, it came through as, this is not for the movie. This is for the love of the game. You know
that
what I mean?
is what it is. I love that you say that, because he is so excited to be marketing it the way that he is, because he believes in the movie, because he believes in himself, and it all folds in on one another. And I'm like, give him the best actor, honestly. Like,
just give it to him.
Give it to him, because he does. Not only does he deserve it, but he's working for it. And I think that some people are upset that he's working so hard for it. But I'm like, yet again, like,
if you're not going to bet on yourself, who's going to bet on you?
Yes.
So, which I love.
Okay. Also, before we wrap this episode up, I just want to say that Gwyneth Paltrow is incredible in this movie. It's so fun to see her on screen giving the best performance of her life since like the 2010s, when she was on Glee, when she was performing Forget You with CeeLo at the Grammys, and when she was in one of my favorite and most underrated movies, Country Strong. If you haven't seen Country Strong, you need to plug in right now. Country Strong is with Gwyneth Paltrow playing a country singer, and Leighton Meester as an up-and-comer who's kind of like adjacent to like a Taylor Swift. There's Garrett Hudlin in it, who is so handsome. Tim McGraw. One of the songs, Country Strong, was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Gwyneth Paltrow performed it at the Oscars that year. She says today that was the most nervous she's ever been. The film is like panned, but the music is what the film is about. And the music was nominated for Oscars and Grammys. Okay. So I think we need to turn our attention back to Country Strong and give it the credit that it's due. And also, this is another example of everyone being like 6 degrees separation, because Gwyneth Paltrow and Leighton Meester are in Country Strong. Gwyneth Paltrow is in Marty Supreme. Marty Supreme also stars Odessa, however you say her last name, Azion, who is also in I Love LA as the influencer girl with Leighton Meester.
Yep. Okay.
So if you ever want to play a game of Hollywood Connect the Dots, give me a call.
All right. So your rating, I should go see Marty Supreme.
Got 5 stars from me on Letterboxd.
Okay. My final question to you as we close out 2025 going into 2026 with intention is, what has had you most dramatized in 2025?
The fact that Labubus never existed, and it feels like... What
do you mean they never existed?
They never existed before 2025.
Oh. Okay, and yet they took over everything.
And they took over everything.
Okay.
Secondly, that Luigi, his terrorism charges were dropped.
Okay.
I want to say Luigi is my like long lost cousin as an Italian, but he's also like my brother in arms. I'm also here to say, like, if he's Luigi, I'm okay to be his Mari Ho. If he's looking for a green tunnel, I'll say I got a pink one that he can come slide through. So just putting that out there.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, so if he's released in 2026, come find me. And then the Sydney Sweeney of it all really, really dramatized me in 2025.
The fall of Sydney Sweeney has been something we should study.
It will be studied for years.
Yeah.
So, you know, I got my jeans.
The things that have had me dramatized this year are the rise of fascism. I'm always going to make it political. The rise of fascism and...
The rise of fascism and the downfall of Sydney Sweeney are very closely tied to one another.
Very closely tied to one another. Erica Kirk, I didn't know her name from January to September. All of a sudden, from September to December, she has become... widow, owner of this
girl boss.
She's gaslighting, girl bossing, gatekeeping.
She turned Nicki Minaj into a Trumper.
And she's probably JD Vance's second wife. We'll see in 2026. And then I guess like...
You want to know something crazy about Erica Kirk?
What?
She was once an extra, and by extra, a party goer, on an episode of Summer House. Before she met
I read this.
Charlie
Kirk.
Kirk.
I read this. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what?
She was out in these Montauk streets.
I think that she has a reality show up her sleeve in the next year for sure. You know what? What had me dramatized in 2026 for me, or in 2025 for me, has been the subtle rise of Tiana Taylor. And I just want to see her continue to flourish. I did hear that her and Aaron Pierre broke up this week, so...
Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. I just think of his spirit tunnel.
So yeah, I just, let's make 2026 an even better year than 2025 was, because it really fucking sucked.
I concur.